Hey, how you doing? It is Tuesday Tip Day. Tuesday Tip Day. It is my favorite day. I am coming on today to talk about 3 things you can do right now to get moving. The thing is, I think what I see a lot of, I know, what I see a lot of is that people tend to try to do too much. So we're going to try to make this really accessible and really approachable and really easy so that we can move more. All right, so get your pad, get your pencil. Let's do this. Number 1, be realistic. One of the places where people tend to fall down in trying to move more is they don't set themselves up for success. And if you're a parent, you know you want to set your kids up for success. And in exercise and moving your body, you also want to set yourself up for success. Part of that is being realistic. I just had a conversation with my partner, and I said to him, he asked me to come up with a plan for him to go to the gym and work out. My first question was, how many times a week are you thinking that you might want to go to the gym? And he said 5 or 6. I'm his partner, so I know all of this, but I'm like, he's in rehearsals, he works full time. My eyes got really wide, and I said, really? And he said, yeah, I think that's really doable. And I was like, okay. You have to get really realistic about what you can accomplish. And the reason why you want to start from a place of being realistic is because you want to set yourself up for success to avoid this pattern. This is a pattern I see all of the time where you set yourself up for too much, doing too much, and then, oops, wrong way. And then you go down here and you're feeling crappy because you haven't set yourself up and you feel like a failure. And then what often happens after that is you quit. Then the cycle begins all over again. It ramps up again. You're like, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to do this thing. And then you're back up to doing too much. This cycle here, we need to break the cycle. We need to break the cycle of doing too much because all it does is set yourself up for failure. So the first step, number 1, be realistic. So look at your life and ask yourself within the realm of, let's be realistic. Let's set myself up for success. How many days a week can I move? That's the question. That's the first question. Second question, second thing to answer. How do I like to move? Another pattern that I see is that people equate movement with things that feel like torture, that don't feel good. And so I'll give you an example. Running on treadmill. That's a really common one that comes across is doing stuff like that. That is, for many people, soul-sucking. If you really like treadmills and if you really like the, what are those things called, the stair steppers and all that. So if that's what you like to do, rock on, do it. But number 2, how do I like to move? And if you don't know the answer to that question, no problem. No problem. Get curious. Get curious about, how do I like to move? And then maybe you start exploring what that looks like for you. But the important takeaway from number 2 is you want to be able to move in a way that pleases you so that you'll continue to move. Because if you don't move in a way that pleases you and feels good and right for you, especially when you're starting, you're gonna be like, meh, this sucks. I do not like being on a treadmill. I'm not gonna do this, so I'm gonna not do it anymore. Again, you're not setting yourself up for success. So start to think about what that looks like. What does it look like and how does it feel good for you to move? Is it a Zumba class? Is it going for a walk in the woods? What is it for you? What is sustainable? What is something that pleases you and feels good in your body? All right, number one, be realistic. Number two, move in a way that pleases you. Number three, schedule. Schedule your movement. I know that I'm super linear and I'm inflexible. I know this about myself. But I do find that people that come to me that aren't like me, and they're, I'm not really a scheduler. Well, I think that scheduling can help everyone. And I'll tell you why. It's setting yourself up for success in that you're putting your movement into your planner, into your calendar, into your life. And you have to honor it, and your family has to honor it. And hey, I'm doing this thing, whatever this thing is, and it's on the calendar. You're setting yourself up for success. And you are making room for it in your life. You're putting it into your agenda of things to do. Now, if that feels too constrictive for you, if that feels like, ooh, I don't like that, that doesn't feel good for me, I'm going to teach you 2 different ways to schedule that may offer you a little bit more space, all right? The first way we've already discussed. Put it on your calendar on Tuesday at 2 o'clock, I'm going for a walk around the lake. It's on the calendar, I'm doing it. On Thursday at 5 o'clock, I'm going right from work and I'm going to the gym because that's what I'm going to do. So that's scheduling. But if that feels too constrictive for you, one of the things that you could do is on Sunday, before your week has begun, you're going to be realistic and you're going to look at your calendar and you're going to be like, all right, well, this week I've got a really busy week. I can probably really only move twice. Okay, that's what you do. So you say between now on Sunday and the end of Saturday, before the next week begins, I'm going to move twice, minimum of twice, if that's what your magic number is to be realistic with. And then throughout your week, you fit it in where you're able. But you know that you have to do it twice. So there's your hard edge. That's the bumpers on your bowling alley of how many times you're going to move. You're going to get 2 movements in a way that pleases you, or whatever your realistic number is, by the time the week ends. All right, so those are my recommendations. Number 1, be realistic about how many times you can move during your week. Number 2, move in a way that pleases you, especially when you're getting going. Move in a way that pleases you. And the third thing is schedule your movement. Either scheduling, literally putting it on your schedule, which is what I do. I know Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm going to do this. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, I'm going to do this. Sunday is a free day. I get to do whatever I like. That's what works for me. Or by week's end, you're going to do 2 or 3 or whatever your magic number is by the time the week ends, if that feels better for you. All right? Let me know if you have any questions. And I'm super glad that you're here. And I hope you have a really terrific day. Bye. Have a good one.